Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Y'all rock with us. We roll with y'all. Special shout out to a couple of folks that checked in during that last break. Our sister LM is traveling right now, and she is checking us out. She not even in America right now. She like in another country, and she's still checking out Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. We appreciate our sister LM. And my brother said, what up, bruh? My brother said is checking us out, and he is happy that we played a little 80s hip-hop, a little Fresh Prince there with A Nightmare on My Street. So shout out to my brother said. Shout out to our sister LM. Shout out to our brother Lucia, who just, Facebook Live, y'all got a treat, and that's kind of a special treat that you can get on Facebook Live. Of course, the tune in folks and the Legacy Internet Radio folks and the YouTube and the iTunes folks. Of course, you just got the music, but those folks who were kicking it with us on Facebook Live, they got a little bit extra. And so this is what we do. Shout out to our sister Tarshi. She's checking us out right now on Facebook Live. So shout out to her as well. And I know that Tarshi, you went through it trying to find us, but you was diligent and you here now. So thank you for rocking with us. I'm gonna give the con, as they say on Star Trek, back to my sister Shayna Latia, our clairvoyant medium and co-host for the night. It's back on you, my sister.
All right, moving on along with the show. We have a very, very special guest. She's always here with us every month. She's so dedicated to the spirit world, to helping people from the heart. We have our sister Jane giving us the Halloween rundown, and she's going to give us a little treat about the moon. I'm so excited to hear what she has to say and what she has to teach us. Every time she comes on, I learn something about myself and about others that I can relate to the whole universe and to the whole world. So giving it right on over to you, Jane.
Thank you, Shayna. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jane.
What up?
Glad to be back. We're going to talk about a strange little subject called Halloween.
All right.
Yes,
Wonder
sir.
why.
Yes, sir.
So, of course, today is Halloween. Tonight's Halloween. Us adults don't go trick-or-treating anymore, but we talk about Halloween.
What you say?
We still
What you
dress
say?
up, and
What
we
you
have
say?
parties, and we enjoy ourselves. So I thought it'd be fun to look at the origins of Halloween, why we do this, how did it start, what's it mean. So I'm going to just talk about that a little bit real fast. Well, we know that the 31st of October is Halloween every year. And don't forget, by the way, what do we do Saturday, November 5th? Turn our clocks back. Fall back. So it's going to be
Thank you
dark.
for that, because I needed that.
This Saturday, before you go to bed, turn your clocks back.
And for the folks in the hood, that means lean back.
Lean back.
Lean back. Sorry,
Marcus.
that was too easy. I'm sorry.
Lean back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For us Caucasians, it means fall back.
Yes, sir.
I love Jane. Go ahead, girl.
Yes, sir.
We're all human.
Yes.
All clocks matter.
Hey, we're all
All humans having a spiritual. No, we're all spirits having a humanly experience.
That's right.
I said it backwards. Y'all know me.
So we all know the traditions that go along with Halloween, like, of course, trick-or-treating, bonfires, costume parties, haunted houses, carving the pumpkins. I used to carve one every year. I don't do it anymore, and I miss it, so got to get back to that. But we can thank the Irish and the Scottish who brought this tradition to the U.S. when we all immigrated here back in the time. And then the Canadians picked up on it. Of course, the Australians, New Zealand, the UK. Of course, the UK picked up on it. You know, it's our idea, and then they pick up on it, right? So that's how it was. But that's kind of how this got started. That's kind of how the tradition of Halloween as we do it in the United States. Now, not everybody in the world does what we do. Like Australia, they don't like it, so they don't really do it. A lot of people think it can cause vandalism and things like that. So we kind of have a unique way that we celebrate it. But the origins, how it got started, was the Celtics. We can thank the Celtics. They're the ones that started this. And they called it Samhain. It's spelled SAMHAIN. Now, I sent my handouts that I have here. I have one on Halloween and one on the Black Moon, which we're going to talk about in a second. And I sent them to Marcus so he can put them on his website. And if you guys want to print it out, you're welcome to. So this Shawin, which is the Festival of the Shawin, it was a celebration of the end of the harvest for the Gaelic culture. And it was a time used at the ancient pagans to take stock of supplies and prepare for the winter. These Gaelics believed that on the 31st, the boundaries between the worlds of the living and the dead overlapped, and the deceased would come back to life and cause havoc such as sickness or damage their crops. So they're going to have a festival. They're going to have some kind of ritual that they're going to do to keep this from happening. So they would light bonfires, and they figured why they lit the bonfires, which I found very interesting, to attract the insects, which would then attract the bats. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, so you get the connection.
And this was all, an attribute to Halloween, or what do we call it? All Hallows Eve, or All Hallows Evening. And then they would dress up with masks and costumes they wore in an attempt to mimic the evil spirits or to appease them. So that's why we wear costumes. Isn't that interesting? That's how it all got started. So the whole thing with trick-or-treating, though, was interesting because it was, I think, designed to be fun for children, where you would go house to house and show off your costume and get your little candy. But then we know there's always a bad apple somewhere. So people would start doing, like when I was growing up back in the medieval times, they used to give...
No, Jane, don't do that.
Well, I'm probably the oldest person in the room, but anyway, they would give fruit out. And, when I was growing up, it was cool to get fruit. Well, then some silly person started putting razor blades in apples and stuff, so then we couldn't take the fruit.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So,
you should start just giving kids rocks, like on Charlie Brown.
well,
Money works. Give them money.
Crystal
we had
stones.
somebody that used to give money. The lady would give everybody a $1 bill, just a little dollar, because she didn't either have time to go or just didn't. We had one lady that didn't want to answer the door, but she would leave boxes of candy, and we would bring pillowcases and dump it in, and then go back and change clothes and come back out again and trick or treat. We would do that all the time.
Awesome.
But so with this whole trick-or-treating, it kind of got, in some instances, where you would have some vandalism. So there's always people that want to go out and do bad things to pets, which we hate. So that's why keep your pets inside. Don't let your cats particularly outside, because people want to do bad things. And it just kind of got a bad rap for some communities. So, of course, police are always heightened on Halloween. There's actually some things where people thought that the children were begging for candy. So in some areas of the United States, it's called Beggar's Night, which is interesting. And then there was a practice of dressing up in costumes and begging, though, door to door. And this is in the Middle Ages. And this was includes around Christmas time they would do this. And so it was also referred to as something called souling. So you guys can think about it. And that was when the poor folk would go door to door on actually November 1st and beg, receiving food in return for prayers for the dead on All Souls Day, which is November 2nd. So, and this originated in Ireland and Britain, and then it actually worked its way down in Europe to Italy. So that's just kind of like the little evolution and why we do what we do. Nowadays, I think you used to be able to go neighbor to neighbor and trick-or-treat in your neighborhood like I did growing up, but now what they do is they have what they call trick-or-trunk parties. I don't even know what it is. I don't know. Trick-or-trunk. Where you trick-or-trunk. Right. You go to churches, do it a lot. Rec places do it, where people come with their cars and they open their trunk and they have the candies, and the kids go car to car and load their.
Which
They
is
don't-
safer.
Yeah, my kids did that.
They don't get half the candy we used to get. I'm just telling you. We would have so much it would be crazy. So my mom would go, "How many times have you been around the neighborhood?" "Just twice." And I'd have 3 costumes. So I'd come home and dump out, change costumes, go out again. Hey,
Boss moves, Jane. Boss moves.
this has got to last me till Easter. So I'm thinking logically about this. So anyway, that's my Halloween gig. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea. So we can thank the Celtics. We can thank the Irish, of course, for bringing here to America when we all left Britain. Yay, and came here. But so anyway, that's just a little background on it. Now, we had a really interesting thing happen yesterday. Of course, it was a new moon. right? So it's called a black moon because if you have 2 new moons within a 1-month period, it's called a black moon. Now, that happens quite often. All right, Marcus, this is the quiz for you. What's it called when you have 2 full moons in 1 month?
Ask Jane what it's called when you have 2 full moons in 1 month.
It's a different color moon. What color might it be? Yeah, we've talked about
that's
this.
not a blue moon,
yes,
is
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
So full moon is 2 in a month is a blue moon. 2 new moons, which is more of a rarity, is a black moon. Now, if you've noticed the last couple of days, if you've happened to look it up at the sky to notice your moon, you haven't been able to see it.
Right.
Because it's a black moon.
Right.
Because it's very, very, in a black moon, because a lot of people think, well, you know, with a new moon, you would think, oh, starting over, it should be bright. No, the full moon is the bright moon.
Yes.
The black moon is the dullest moon because it's between the earth and the sun. And the sun's a lot more powerful than the earth, so it blackens out. That's why we don't see it very clear.
I have a question for you, Jane.
Sure.
Is that where, like, one, it's two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have blue moons often?
We have blue moons more often than we have black moons.
Well, I was wondering because, like, the old adage, once in a blue moon.
Right.
You know, is that where that comes from?
Well,
Yes.
you know, let me think about that. I think you're right because now, when do the blue moons happen? When do full moons happen? Normally in the middle of the month. So, you're right. Sorry.
Because it's like
That's what we do.
No, but I just started thinking about that. So blue moons, that's why they do say once in a blue moon, but they normally happen in the fall, in October, or because that's a long month,
Right.
and it's usually around the harvest time and everything. So, of course, the days are getting shorter. So, did you guys see the full moon in the middle of October? It was extremely bright.
Yeah. And it's
Extremely bright, and it went on for it seemed like it was forever.
Yeah.
We were all up during the full moon.
Yes.
I
What happened? Wait. Now that we're Time out. We're doing that, right? We're doing
Yes,
that. The
yes.
Halloween party and the full moon party.
Yes, we are.
And I was like, y'all need to come over.
Yes, we're doing a full moon party.
Well, we don't invite everybody over,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're going to have a little full moon ritual get-together gathering.
I have a question
together.
really quick, Jane.
Sure.
This is Tia.
Tia.
When it comes to new moons and full moons, you were mentioning that the black moon is dark for a reason, and you would think that the full moon would be for new beginnings. The black moon is black for new beginnings because it's unknown. Right?
It's unknown, and it's actually the full moon means it's full, so I've taken in everything.
You see everything exactly
Right.
as it is.
When a moon transitions from a new moon to a full moon, it's on what's called a waxing. If you all watch your Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. So waxing means you're taking on illumination. You are adding illumination to the moon. It's getting brighter and brighter. So it starts from a new moon like now, which is very, very dull and black.
Right.
Because it's
Unknown circumstances.
yes. So this is when you start everything on a new moon. You don't
Right.
want to finish anything on a new moon. You want to start everything. On a full moon, you want
That's
to
when you
finish
finish.
everything. You don't want to
Everything's
start
right
anything
there
on a
for
full.
you.
Right. So why do you think we talked about this before when we've done the moon segments? Why do we sign a lease at the first of the month? Because it's usually a new moon.
Never knew that.
Right? What's tomorrow? November 1st. That's
Pay our
not
rent.
quite pay our rent. And we talked about cycles too. The moon runs on a 28, 29-day cycle depending on the month. What are women's cycles? 28, 29 days.
Yeah. Oh,
Think about that. We talk about numerology too. How long are women pregnant?
9 months.
What's 1 through 9 in numerology? Everything is balanced in this world. So, and I got Marcus. There's a great app if you guys don't want to download it. Who don't have it out there, or who in here, it's called Moon Phases. It's a free app. You can download it. For those in the room, this is what it looks like, and you can look every day on your app, and it tells you, and it's actually real time. So you'll see the sky moving. This is exactly the moon right now, and it tells you the actual location, how illuminated. It's only 2% illuminated. Remember, it's a new moon.
So, Jane, if you're an Android user, do you go into the Play Store?
Yes, this is Android.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
Play
you.
Store, or if you have. I don't have Apple stuff, so I'm not sure what's a little store called? App Store. Oh, that's original.
And it's called.
Came up with it first.
Steve Jobs, that's original.
Can you tell me the name of it again?
It's called Moon Phases,
Moon
or
Phases.
Phases of the Moon.
Phases
You'll
of
see
the
it,
Moon.
and it tells you how old the moon is one day. Because our new moon was actually yesterday, but because it extended till 4:38 a.m. this morning, it's considered a new moon on Halloween. So that's why we trick it that way.
And just so I could tell you firsthand, this app is real dope. Like,
It's really
it's
and
real
not
dope.
only can you see where you are, look at this, guys. If you push it, you'll see all. You can even go and look a specific day up. If you want to see what the moon looked like on your birthday, when you were born, you can look it up. So now it's mine says October. Here we are, October 31st. But if we go, let's see when the full moon is on November 13th, which is a Sunday. In 14 days from now. So that's your full moon. And it's in Taurus. It's even going to show you what zodiac sign it's in. We are in Scorpio right now. If you look tomorrow, it's going to be moving out of Scorpio into Sagittarius. If you look on Wednesday, it's Sagittarius. Thursday, Sagittarius to Capricorn. So you'll see, because as the moon's a satellite. So the moon kind of, if you'll notice, not like the sun's always in the same place. It rises in the east, sets in the west, right? It goes like this, right? The moon doesn't. Moon goes like this. Because the moon is moving from between the earth and the sun. It rotates around the earth like this and moves. So that's what it's doing, just to let you guys know. So we did a whole thing on moon phases once, and we had a blast. We talked about orange moons and red moons and everything, but
We're going to have a part 2.
we are going to have a part 2. We'll really dig in it a little bit deeper. We talk about tides before. We talked about how the tides are affected by the moon's gravity and that kind of stuff. But it was really interesting. So I just wanted
one question.
Sure.
People's personalities are also affected by the moon, right?
Right. Mhm.
Yes, I
Do you
thought
know
so.
why? The gravity.
Yes.
The gravity of the moon. Because the moon's gravity controls our high and low tides. And imagine, because we're stuck to the earth because of the magnetic pull that the moon, and that's why the water doesn't fall off, because we're not really standing up, guys. You know that.
Yeah.
We're kind of upside down depending on where we are.
Right.
But it's the gravity. So that's why on the full moon, we are all like, awake, heightened, but we're finishing up things. So you're almost like shedding your skin on a full moon, if you look at it that way. And then you're getting rid of, you've built up everything, and then you want to get rid of it and start anew. So we're starting anew now, so it's not too late. If there's anything you want to, I got rid of something out of my life today, which is not something I wanted to do, but something I needed to do. But that's okay. Life goes on. And but this is the perfect time for me to do it because it felt right. Sometimes you get signs and you ignore them. You're like, no, but you need to.
I think the easiest way to describe it for a lay person is like when you remember when you were a kid and you had those magnets. You get 2 magnets, and you figured out if you get the right kind of magnet, they would attach to each other. You get the other kind of magnet, they would repel from each other. And figure the kind that repels from each other. And imagine, like, when you try to put them together, you feel in your hand how they try to repel from each other. It's like this weird feeling that you can't verbally describe it, but you know it when you feel it. Well, imagine that space in between that repulsion. That's what happens to the earth when the moon is trying to come into that space. And so if you're, as a child, playing with magnets and you can imagine in your mind what that would feel like in the middle of that repulsion, then you can conceptualize as an adult what the moon must be doing to the earth and we as bodies on the earth. So you might be having a good day, but if the moon is acting funky, you're going to be feeling funky. You know what I mean?
And just to let you know about this black moon on Halloween, it's not going to happen again until 2081. I hope I'm around. I hope I'm around to see it, but unless they freeze me or something.
I don't know about you, but
I don't want to be here.
I'm gonna be 107.
I want to be here. I want to be here.
I'm gonna be 107 and incontinent and just a mess.
Young 90s.
And a mess. So I don't
Everybody
know.
got their thing, Ashley.
Yeah, man.
Everybody got their thing, girl. Everybody got their thing.
I think I just missed it yesterday. I'm out of luck.
Is it possible that we can do a show on the moon cycle and our womanly moon cycle. We could do like a
Sure, in
woman's. And we're going to do
comparison.
that. Yeah, would you like to join that one? Yeah, absolutely. Y'all would like to know about that. Women's health, we need to know how the moon connects to our cycles. I'm just really learning that now.
Well, and
I'm
That's why I asked about, I'm sorry, the emotional aspect of it all too,
Right.
because, as women, we have the emotional aspect of it all too. And I can honestly say sometimes when the moon is doing a certain thing, I feel a certain way. But it's not just us, because my ex will get crazy too. and I'm like, oh, you got your own version of PMS, but it might be the moon
and
MS.
look how
MMS.
look how animals act. Look how animals act on a full moon. That's
like the coyote,
Yeah.
the werewolf or whatever, it was howling. Yeah.
All
Hey,
of
this
that.
is Tia again. This gets kind of personal, but I stopped the BC, and it started on the moon cycle. This was a couple years ago.
Oh.
And so it follows the moon, and I did not know that until somebody told me, and I was like, whoa. So every time I see a full moon, I'm like, oh, okay, great. I know it's coming.
I just stopped mine like
the new moon coming, so I
On
know it's about to
Saturday.
come.
well. Also, what about and this is interesting. What about the women who don't have their cycles anymore?
There we
you
go.
know? Thank you, Jesus.
We
but I mean,
still, the
it's-
struggle
things-
crew, the
things
struggle's
still-
still real over here for
But I
us.
mean, things still affect you because, especially when you raise your vibrations doing the kind of work we do, we feel everything. Especially
Right,
if you're
we do.
empathic, like our friend Alice is, and
Alice.
you are working on understanding those empathic feelings and how to shelter yourself and how to protect yourself from gathering everyone's energy and everyone's feelings. It can
Yeah.
be overwhelming. So.
Yeah.
But that's right,
You
Marcus.
too, Marcus. You
That's
too.
right,
Marcus is emotional. So he does follow the moon.
You have a cycle too.
He's got the pink microphone.
And he
is
doesn't
sensitive.
give it up to nobody. He don't let
So
nobody.
that's my Halloween gig, and that's
Hell
my
no.
Black Moon education for the evening.
Yes,
Yes,
Jane.
sir.
It's always a pleasure to have Jane in the studio because, like I said, every time she comes, I learn something new. Yes, girl, I need this packet. I'm going to keep this packet. So we will be back with Jane soon, and we're going to do a moon cycle. Shay's going to join us, and everyone who wants to join in on that discussion. We're going to do that. Jane's going to lead us off because she's going to teach us different things, different moon phases.
Well, also, I'd like Shay. I do numerology like Shay, and I think it'd be interesting to link numerology to moon phases.
Oh, so okay, we could do like a numerology
I've done
moon.
some of it, but I haven't done a lot, and I thought that would be, really interesting to do.
We do a numerology moon segment.
Moon phases.
Yeah.
Shay, don't you? I know that just from conversations, not putting too much out there, that you also were intrigued by like the site, like like a female cycle and like the moon cycles as well. I know you've done some study and some
Oh,
research
this is
into
your
that as well.
thing, huh?
It's definitely something that I'm interested in, but astrology in general is not my strong suit. So that's why I'm
Me
very
either, girl.
interested in like working with someone else. Numerology and astrology, definitely like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
every
yeah.
time I talk to an astrologer or anyone that knows about astrology, like there's always these correlations, and I love that. So yeah, let's get together.
It all means something. It's all connected.
I want to get a comment in, and I want you folks to respond to it. My sister Melanie in the Shy is still listening.
Love Melanie Payne.
And
I
Melanie,
love you.
Melanie says some women who practice Dr. Sebi's lifestyle 100% have said that they no longer have a cycle. These are young women, not women going through the changes. How would that work? This is based off eating alkaline.
Based off eating alkaline, like I love Dr. Sebi, I do. You have something to say? Okay. I believe that that's all energy. I think you can do anything with energy lines. And I think that once you start to eat healthy, that your body might change. Anything that you do to your body that you are currently doing will cause a change within.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I have 9 years under my belt now of changing my diet from the most unhealthy standard American diet to now eating nothing but fruits and vegetables, and Dr. Sabi definitely an inspiration for that. Eating alkaline and keeping your body in that state definitely makes dramatic changes. And I can say from my personal experience that since I've made the complete shift now, I've definitely had a change in my cycles. And I can feel my body just kind of shifting. So I'm still kind of like in that healing phase where I can tell things are kind of, but it's definitely disrupted the normal pattern. So I'm really curious now to see if that would be wonderful.
But you still bleed though, right?
Yes, but
and you want to
just gonna keep it real. I love Ashley.
But the reason why I'm
Keep it real.
asking that is because Dr.
not
Sabi
sure
was a rock star, superstar, but a lot of people do pervert his lessons and then
They
try
do.
to attribute those perversions to him, and that's not true.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Normal, healthy women do bleed.
And it's
Alkaline, no
okay.
alkaline. Even Eve bled, and she was
Sure.
created by God. I'm sorry to be rash, but it's just the truth. So if a woman says, "Oh, I'm eating all this fruits and vegetables and all these nuts and berries and I'm not bleeding," well, something is wrong either with them physically or energetically. And I love Dr. Sabi, so I'm
Me
stepping
too.
in right now to say people who are perverted his teachings and his truths and then try to attribute those perversions to him are doing a great disservice.
Yeah.
to
definitely
his-
agree with
to
that.
his entire work.
I agree with that 100%.
Well,
also.
my point was only that there are changes and shifts as we switch our diet and, try to get
Absolutely.
ourselves into a healthier alignment. There's going to be all kinds of changes. So this may be something temporary for these women, or maybe it might not be attributed to that. Like you said, it could be something else going on.
You know what? When
But,
you work out a lot of
Yeah,
times
your
that
cycle will
Yeah, your
change.
cycle will change. It can
Absolutely.
be lesser. Stress can do it, but just pretending that all things are equal here and everything's good. When you eat right and you exercise a lot, that can reduce the time of your cycle. So if you were bleeding for 7 days, that can reduce it down to 3 days. But at the end of the day, you're going to bleed, okay? So
Okay.
we can't say, "Oh, I'm doing all these nuts and berries and fruits and all these vegetables," and saying I'm not bleeding, thinking we're okay. That's not okay. Oh, sorry.
All right, now, so we're going to wrap up this session with Jane and the moon cycle and the eating. And when we come back, we're going to have our lovely journey with the Black History Report with Marie Laveau. We're going to learn all about who she is and what she did. We'll be right back. Legacy Internet Radio, No Half Stepping, with Marcus J. and the crew. The crew tonight is Psychics and Mediums. Word, throw it up for the spirits. Woo!
What's up, y'all? This is your man K-Dub, and when I'm down on 285 down in Atlanta, GA, maybe on I-64 in Newport News, Virginia, or maybe I'm in Jersey City catching that light rail headed downtown to go into NYC, I'm always plugged in to Legacy Internet Radio, listening to Ain't No Half Stepping with my man Marcus J. Check it out, y'all. Peace.
What up, everybody? It's your girl, Jody Smith, JMM Jody Music Mixtape. It's a classic. Get at my dude, Marcus J, on Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half stepping. Get your own JMM mixtape. Hit me up, Jody Smith, on Facebook, Jody